Hi, folks. Well, this is Sty just kicking back in the hammock, sitting crossways in the hammock, facing the lake. Sun's starting to set. Yeah, it's got another 45 minutes before it gets right down to the tree line. And another half hour or so, the loons will start singing. And I'm trying to put a video together of the sunsets and the loons, blah, blah, blah. You'll see that one. But this one, well, I'm sitting here just enjoying the sunset. I've sat here now for close to an hour already, just relaxing, just enjoying every second. And enjoying a cup of coffee that I just ran and got. I thought, well, what the heck? I'll do a little video about the history of Black Lake. At least some of the history. Now, as far as the campground is concerned, I don't know the history of the campground as far as when was it established and just how long it's been here. And I do know it was established by the Forest Service. We're in the heart of the Nicolet, well, the Chequamegon Nicolet Forest. The whole lake is surrounded by national forest. There's no private property here whatsoever. No private land for miles. It's all Forest Service. The history part that I do know, that I am aware of, is the logging history. At least some of it. Okay, this whole area around Black Lake, the whole area, between 1880 and 1900, a 20-year span, this was totally logged off. All of it was logged off. What were they after? They were after all of the white pine. Yep, all of the white pine. They went through and logged. They cut everything down. They cut it all down. If it wasn't white pine, it was in the way, okay? And if it was white pine that they wanted, it was only the best. They took the best and left the rest, just laying on the ground. So they literally, there's really no other way to put it, they came in and slaughtered all the timber and only took the best, and that was the white pine. That's where the money was. And these were huge white pines. I mean, they were huge. They're all 40 inches plus on the trunk. We'll have a pause here. There's a vehicle going by. So they logged just the white pine. That's all they took. But they cut it all down. Everything. So I'm sitting here looking at a dense forest and a very diverse forest. This wasn't so diverse back then. Like I said, they were here for the white pine, and for good reason. There were tons of it. It was almost all white pine. The white pine was so thick in here that there was very little undergrowth. Very little room for birches and maples and elms and other oaks. I haven't seen any oaks though, but I see a lot of birch, maple, elms, and now a mix of conifers. I see spruce. I see jack pine. Well, yeah, there's spruce, jack pine. There's a few hemlocks. There is some white pine. There's I've seen many white pine, but they're not old. You can tell they're maybe an old one looks like it's probably about 75 years old or so. That's an old one. But keep in mind, it's only been 120 years ago. This was stripped, totally stripped. And I sit here and I look at this thick, diverse forest, and I ask myself, what did it look like after they stripped it? What was this like? Now, Black Lake had a purpose. All the logging they did around this area, the logs all got drug in and put into Black Lake. Doggone it, I can't remember the name of the little river that comes off of Black Lake. There's a little dam at the end of Black Lake here. And the river. The river's not big. It's a small river. The loons are starting to call. But there was no dam at that time. Black Lake just fed that river. They would yard the logs up here on Black Lake, and then they'd float them down that river. And then from that river, they'd float them again down the Chippewa flowage, and then they floated them again. And those logs just kept moving all the way to the Mississippi. Then from the Mississippi, they were shipped. They were milled into lumber and shipped, believe it or not, to the Plains states. To all the Plains states. All the way from the Dakotas down to Oklahoma. Right down the center of this continent, through all the plains. That's how they built the towns out there in the late 1800s and early 1900s, was off of timber from Wisconsin and Minnesota. So all the white pine that was here, that they wiped out, all went out to the prairies, out to the plains, to build towns. Makes me wonder if the timber from here had not been harvested, what would have been out in the plains for towns? What would they have built from? Where would they have gotten their timber if it hadn't all come out of northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota? It's hard to believe that they totally... There's a boat out on the lake. You can hear the motor. I don't like that. Especially in the evening here. But, so, this is a beautiful forest. I'm loving it. I love every bit of everything about it. But I can't help but sit here. I look and there's a huge white pine. Just can't tell where I'm pointing, I bet. But there's a huge white pine right over here. Right over there. Huge bugger. Looks like it's about 110, about 100, maybe 100, 110 feet tall. Looks like it's maybe 75 to 100 years old. To picture this place used to be covered, just covered with trees like that. And that's an odd one. You know, there's a lot of trees close to its height, but that one stands out especially. So it's a amazing thing. For one thing, how this forest recovered itself, how it turned into a whole different new forest, diverse of all these different types of trees, and it's beautiful, but I still wish I could have seen it in its original state. So that's why I did this video. Just a little history of what occurred here at Black Lake between 1880 and 1900. I don't think we'll see them do that again here. No, that ain't happening. It better not. Well, it won't in my lifetime. If I heard they were going to strip log this whole area around the lake, I'd be out here protesting. I'd be fighting it, saying, no, don't do it. It was done once, don't ever do it again. Not that way. Well, that's it for this evening, guys. I'm going to film the loons if they come down this way, and just relax the rest of my evening. Thanks for tagging along. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, you'll see my ugly mug pop up. Give it a punch and you'll be subscribed. Ring the bell if you want notifications when I do videos or when I'm doing a live stream. My live streams, people like to hang out around the campfire and on Sunday nights for sty stories. Hey, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I'll leave some over here, over here, over there. I'll leave some videos up for you to, if you want to catch something else. So, hey, great. It was wonderful having you tag along. And there's a little history of Black Lake in northern Wisconsin. Hope you enjoyed it. And this is Sty saying, you all have a very, very, very nice day. Bye-bye.